is the information session for Folkloristics in Applied Heritage Studies, which is an international master's program at the University of Tartu. And I am the director of this program, Elo-Hanna Seljamaa. And with me here today is Kristel Kivari, my dear colleague and friend, and also co-coordinator of this program. And then also we have a current student here, first year student Lorraine, who will share some of her experiences with you soon. But first we have prepared some slides, and I asked that if you have any questions, then please use the Q&A kind of function for it. And the questions and answers will become visible and accessible to everybody once we have answered them. And don't worry if any questions go unanswered, because we have the possibility to get back to them later and contact you. And then also this session is being recorded, and the recording is going to be made available via University of Tartu website and various other channels. So you can go back to it later. But now we'll proceed with some slides, and I will share my screen and hope you will be able to see it. So I hope you can. So what you can see on the picture is the main building of the University of Tartu. And some of you might have, at the very least, walked past it, if not been inside. Right now it's very snowy outside, but should you decide to come and study with us, then we'll do our best that you would have blue skies in September when the academic year starts. This program, Folkloristics in Applied Heritage Studies, is coordinated by the Institute of Cultural Research, which is part of the Faculty of Arts and Humanities. And what you see on this photograph is one of the walls of the Institute of Cultural Research. It's one of the oldest buildings in Tartu and has a very interesting history. So this program is a 2-year, 4-semester. Master of Art in Humanities is the degree that you will earn once you complete the required 120 credit points. ECTS is an acronym for a European Credit Transfer System, credit points, which is used across Europe. But essentially, we're talking about credit points. The units responsible for the program are the Institute of Cultural Research, and then also Viljandi Culture Academy, which is a regional college of the University of Tartu. And it's located in Viljandi, about 80 kilometers from Tartu. And they have an excellent kind of infrastructure and expertise in everything that has to do with crafts, textile, leather, metal, woodwork. But more about that in a second. And then this program offers 2 specializations, and one of them is in collaboration with our colleagues in Viljandi. So this is study and application of the heritage of crafts. And we sometimes refer to it as the Viljandi track. And then also we have a Tartu track, and this is analysis of folklore and cultural heritage. And this is what we do at the University of Tartu, and especially the departments of ethnology and Estonian and comparative folklore. So we are looking forward to accepting anywhere between 7 and 14 students. And based on the information we have right now, 5 of them will be offered tuition fee waivers. You might have heard about it today already in case you attended some of the other more general sessions. So there's nothing you need to do to apply for the tuition fee waiver. You will be considered during the kind of routine application procedure. So a few words about this program and what we see that, you know, it can achieve, or why we have created it. So I think currently, and this is what many scholars have noticed and written about, and activists as well, is that we're currently living in an age of an heritage boom. And we see this program as a critical and also constructive response to this very active and diverse engagement with heritage, and really globally. And in this program, we are particularly interested in the intangible cultural heritage, but it's never really completely separated from tangible heritage. And we try to approach it as a resource that is to be used ethically and sustainably. And also we are very interested in how heritage is imagined, made, created, and how it's constantly in the process of being made. So it's not a given, and this enables us to ask and to encourage our students to ask critical questions about this process. We want to equip our students to be able to serve as mediators between the very, very different groups and actors who are active in the field of heritage, and at different levels, so on local, national, international levels, and also how these various levels intersect. And some of the courses we offer explore the relationships between intangible cultural heritage and folklore, so how they are different categories, how they overlap, what kind of social and philosophical and critical work either of them accomplishes. And something that is practiced in Viljandi with regards to crafts in particular is practice-based craft research. So students who are, or candidates who are considering the Viljandi track, ideally have had exposure to crafts, are interested in crafts, and kind of are able to explore craft-related topics from a maker's perspective. But we've had all kinds of projects, and I'll introduce some of them shortly. So moving on, some of the aspects we're particularly proud of is that we aim to really offer students tailor-made solutions as they proceed in their studies. There's the possibility to choose elective courses really across the university, also from from other faculties, and really different curricula. I mean, obviously you could not go to the medical school and take classes with, I don't know, 4th-year surgeons or something. But as long as, it's to do with social sciences, humanities, then we really encourage our students to explore what the University of Tartu has to offer. It's a big university with very many opportunities. And we also offer various language courses. So all of you will be required to take at least one Estonian course, but you can take more and other languages apart from Estonian. And these are credit-pairing courses. Then we seek to provide our students with academic and practical skills and various hands-on experiences. And it's really kind of important that students contemplate and think about what it is that they want to achieve, where they see themselves in, for example, 5 years' time, and how to make it happen. So how their studies can help them get to where they want to be and what they want to achieve. And so this means taking responsibility for your own studies. And part of this is choosing whether one wants to complete the studies with a master's project, which is quite a kind of unique opportunity, I think, that you create something practical, and then you write a shorter written piece where you reflect on the process of creating this thing and why it matters. So it's coming out of research, but it has a practical outcome. And this could be an exhibition or a series of podcasts or various other things. And then we also offered the possibility to graduate with a traditional kind of master's thesis or a dissertation. And I'll talk more about both projects and the thesis topics soon. Then something we also are proud about is that we offer plenty of study abroad opportunities. You can visit the University of Tartu website and see what's there. Possibly the most convenient time for doing a study abroad is during the 3rd semester. So in the fall of the 2nd year of studies, but students have done so also earlier and later. And it takes some planning, but this curriculum is designed in such a way that we can integrate study abroad courses into your curriculum at the University of Tartu. So we've had students who spend a semester abroad and then they come back and they are still able to graduate within 2 years. So we are flexible when it comes to study abroad, and there are specialists who advise students on the best choices and how to go about the application procedure. So, for example, right now we have one student who is in Georgia, and then there are also more and more kind of shorter mobility opportunities. So, for example, blended courses where part of the work is online, and then students travel to a place where they meet other students from other universities, and so the other part of the course is kind of on-site abroad. So it gives like bites of smaller bites of the study abroad experience, and I think that's something the pandemic gave us, this kind of flexibility. Again, something that I personally am very, very proud of and cherish is our kind of diverse student population. It's a very, very diverse program, and it's not unusual at all that all students in a cohort come from a different country and possibly from a different continent. And it's something that I value very highly, and I'm very aware of how I've kind of learned and continued to learn from students and from this diversity that we kind of encounter and live in this program on a daily basis. And we also have an active student organization where international students and then students coming from Estonia meet and mix and mingle and do things together. For example, party, and this is NEFA, which is kind of Nordic organization of ethnology and folklore students. It has a long history of several decades, and we have a group of this kind in Tartu as well. So I can see there's a question, and I'll quickly look at what it is. Okay. So thank you for the question. I'll come back to it in a second. So I'll, because but also something that makes us unique is that at the University of Tartu, in the Institute of Cultural Research, we have a UNESCO chair that's dedicated to intangible cultural heritage. So UNESCO, which is the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, sponsors a network of chairs, and there aren't many chairs dedicated to intangible cultural heritage in the world. Last I checked, it was 7, and they collaborate, and we in Tartu have one such chair. So the chairholder of the chair, Professor Kristin Gutmann, participates in teaching and supervising, and also the UNESCO chair has various research projects, and we kind of try to use these research projects also to support student research, especially research that deals with UNESCO-related topics or with heritage more broadly. But again, there's a link, and I would encourage you to explore it later. And then a few words about the curriculum. So it's 2 years, 120 credit points. And for your cohort, it would consist of 6 modules. There are general courses that everybody needs to take, including master's seminar, and Kristel will say a few words about the seminars later. And then there are specialization courses. So as you remember, I mentioned there are 2 specializations to choose from, and students need to complete at least one of them. Then there's practical training, which includes fieldwork and or internships, and then the elective courses, which you choose based on your research interests and career plans in collaboration with your supervisor and program director and coordinator and other faculty members. So you're expected to take responsibility for your studies, but you're not alone. And the internship, so to answer the question whether the internships are paid or unpaid, usually they tend to be unpaid. What you earn from them for them is credit points. Sometimes there could be opportunities that are paid, but more often than not, they are unpaid. And I mean, of course, if we lived in an ideal world, that would be different. Maybe the good news is that we encourage students to also explore internship opportunities really globally. So we've had students who've done internships, for example, back in their country of origin, and some of these have been paid. So we are very flexible when it comes to, you know, how this internship is carried out, and sometimes students have been able to combine it with the kind of the wage labor that they are doing. So we try to approach individually and kind of find the best solution. But the truth is that oftentimes these internships are unpaid. And sometimes we have students, or actually quite often we have students who prefer to do an extensive conduct extensive ethnographic fieldwork. And so this is where they would earn their internship / fieldwork course, but it's also possible to combine the two. And then to see if I can. Okay, so some more information for you. So there are 2 specializations to choose from. Study of application of the heritage of crafts is the responsibility of our colleagues in Viljandi. It's practice-based learning and studying. And among other things, it kind of guides students in the exploration of craft traditions and how they are transforming and being transformed in today's world. The specialization module also has a course that's dedicated to the didactics of craft. So how do you, if you know something, then how do you pass it on? And what happens in this teaching and learning situation? To bring one very fun example, so just next week, we are going to have an oral defense of one master's project of a student who specialized in the study and application of the heritage of crafts. And what she did, because she's a trained seamstress, as her master's project, she interned at the Vanamuine Theatre in Tartu, and she was taught to sew a classical ballet dress. And so her master's project is this ballet dress, but she, in the written component of the project, she analyzes the importance of tacit knowledge and how one can pass on and kind of acquire tacit knowledge only by doing the crafts, and also through kind of this direct interaction between the master and the apprentice. So it's quite a unique project, and one we're very excited about. And then the other track is analysis of folklore and cultural heritage, which is run by the departments of ethnology and Estonian comparative folklore in Tartu. And much of it is actually kind of based on a common basis of cultural anthropology. So there's one question in Q&A about economic anthropology. So we do have faculty members who specialize in economic anthropology. So even if there is not a course, maybe I do think we have a course about economic anthropology as well. But in any case, it's we do have faculty members who would be kind of knowledgeable to supervise such a research project, and also our kind of general module courses in theory and methodology would cover topics that that are relevant also to the study of economic anthropology and aspects kind of linked to that. So this program is suitable also for those interested in economic anthropology and also other aspects, so like climate or medicine, and here I've listed some other topics that are discussed in courses. So cultural policy, topics related to UNESCO, various folklore genres. Then very many faculty members of ours work with different topics to do with beliefs, customs, folk religion, indigenous cultures in various parts of the world is a topic of increasing importance. indigenous cultures in India, for example, but then we've had students not only from India, but also from South America, for example. We have currently a second-year MA student who is from Peru, and his master's project is about Amazonian indigenous peoples, and he himself comes from there. So it's very kind of important and also fascinating work that he's doing. And then another kind of topic we take very seriously are museums and memory studies and archives. But this is certainly an incomplete list. And we do encourage our students to kind of choose topics from the parts of the world that they are familiar with, but then also to study Estonia. And we do have international students who are working on specific topics linked to Estonia. And then while some of them know the Estonian language, at least at the very elementary level, it certainly helps. But then it's possible to frame and formulate your research topic and to conduct research in Estonia in such a way that it does not require you to be fluent in Estonian. So it helps to know the Estonian language, but it's certainly not a prerequisite for conducting research on Estonia or working in Estonian with Estonian people. So it really comes down to the kind of suitable formulation of the research, the scope of research and the research questions. So I hope now I've answered the question about that as well. So as I said, students complete their studies either with a master's thesis or with a master's project. And I also said that we encourage students to really cast the net widely, and I've listed here some of the recent master's theses that have been defended in this program. Most of them were defended last year in 2023. And as you can see, it's very diverse. So there was one thesis about a carnival and carnival culture more broadly in Cabo Verde. There was a thesis about Estonian museums in kind of smaller towns, regional museums, and how they represent the Soviet past. There was a thesis about food heritage in Colombia. Another one about carpet weaving in Iran. Then about metal subculture in Estonia. There have been theses about magic and charming, about food culture, again, from different perspectives. Since this program was opened in 2017, we have had 40 graduates so far, and really the topics are very, very different. And we see this as a success because it shows that we are capable of supporting research interests and projects of various kind, and also that we succeed in kind of encouraging students to be bold and to undertake really various kinds of research projects. And so if thesis is quite a conventional piece of written research, then the more innovative genre is the master's project, which is I think more exciting it's also more demanding. So it has less writing involved, but it's definitely a harder genre to challenge, to master. It's more challenging in various ways, because you need to produce something. It needs to have like a practical component, and this could be, for example, a course or some other educational materials. We've had students do podcasts, exhibitions, book manuscripts. There's a first-year student who is working on a film script. As I said, somebody just did a classical ballet dress. We've had students who work on nominations for national UNESCO lists for intangible cultural heritage, or various other practical kind of tasks related to heritage kind of policies and management. So you need to create this practical thing, but then you also need to be able to analyze it and kind of reflect on this thing in writing. And I think it's an excellent opportunity to acquire various kinds of practical skills, to practice problem solving. And I'm kind of just recently I touched base with a student who was in one of the first cohorts we had, and she designed a database for her project. And she said that even though it was really, really challenging in the sense that she had to go out of her comfort zone and teach herself various new skills, then actually this database helped her to kind of get a job and get the job that she now has. And so it's really one of these kind of opportunities where you need to think how this project can help me achieve something else in the future, and what kinds of skills do I need to acquire, and what do I want to kind of acquire. So it's really, really fascinating, and I'm very glad that academia is becoming more flexible in this way, that it's possible to do these things, because it's also a way of linking academia and the world kind of we all live in. Moving on. So what our graduates have done, many continue at PhD level in universities across the world, really. But at the same time, we always try to emphasize that continuing at PhD level is not a must, in the sense that we want our graduates to be happy first and foremost, and to kind of find things that they enjoy. And so some of our graduates have kind of very consciously chosen not to continue in the academia, but for example, they are working in the tourism sector. They have kind of established their own company. They do other things in the cultural heritage and cultural policy sector, work in museums, work with community education, or are kind of developing further and putting into practice the writing and translating and kind of other skills that the MA studies help them to kind of develop. So again, I would emphasize the aspect of thinking what it is that I want to get out of this program, and then we can help you to achieve it. And at the same time, we are proud of all the students who are continuing at kind of PhD level and deepening the research they started while they were with us. And some students have continued the studies at the University of Tartu. but many have gone to other programs as well. I've listed here some of the current and very recent research projects of our faculty in ethnology and Estonian comparative folklore. And this too should give you an idea of how diverse of a program it is by virtue of its faculty members. Culturality, the first project here, is quite a kind of large multi-year project that is just about to start and is coordinated by the UNESCO chair, and it deals with crafts, sustainability, and especially the role of women in creative tourism in contemporary Europe. So it's a comparative project that has participants from multiple European countries. We always have some research projects that are focused on Finno-Ugric peoples of Russia. Some projects that focus on religious aspects and beliefs, and also projects to do with various folklore genres and with museums. The projects come and go, so it's a very active research institute in this sense. Then a couple of words about the admission process. So you really need to have a BA or an equivalent degree to be accepted into the program. And you need to prove your English language proficiency. And the specific requirements are explained on the University of Tartu website. And then what is more program specific is a motivation letter. And then after this first round of letters, then we invite applicants to the admission interview. And you should hear from university admissions about the results by the end of April at the latest. And in the motivation letter, there are some guidelines on the website, but I would say what we really want to see is that why you are interested in this program, how you think it will contribute to your professional development, and to where you see yourself in the future, and who you are as a person as well. So we don't expect students to have prior studies or degree in cultural anthropology or folklore studies or ethnology, though many of our students do, and it certainly helps, but it's not a rigid requirement. But what we want to see is the interest and why you want to come to us. And then the admission interview is based on the motivation letter. I briefly wanted to mention an international Erasmus Mundus joint master's program that we collaborate with. It's Education in Museums and Heritage. And what it means for our students in Folkloristics and Applied Heritage Studies is that in the spring semester, we have students coming from this Elo-Hanna program and join students in Folkloristics and Applied Heritage Studies in some of the courses. And so this collaboration with Elo-Hanna broadens the possibilities of our students as well by kind of bringing in experts in museums, and also increasing our students' networking possibilities, among other things. So it's a new initiative, and we're very excited about it, and it also adds to the diversity that's kind of already there. And And then I have here some links about projects that our students have done, their experiences and stories of studying in the program and studying in Tartu, and some impressions from our colleagues. It's a very kind of actively networked institute and program. We often have visiting lecturers, professors, so it's a very vibrant environment to be studying in. And some more links for you to explore later. The slides will be made available via the program website. And you're welcome to email me as well, and I'm happy to send them to you. So if you have any questions, you're most welcome to email me. And there's my email address, and then also the general email address of the program. And the image is from a master's project of one of our students who did an exhibition about goat herding in contemporary Estonia, and it was a traveling exhibition that went to various places in Estonia. So that's all from me, and I would now pass it on to Kristel Kivari, who is a researcher in the Department of Estonian Comparative Folklore and also a coordinator of this program. So she's very knowledgeable about the courses and students. So please.
Thank you, and hello everyone from my behalf as well. So what I will say about this is to agree with Elo-Hanna's insistence that we really have the very unique opportunity to get to know about the world in the broadest sense that you cannot imagine, that this rich variety of cultures that all the students somehow present is our joy and really such an opportunity to work with and think along with on various topics. I work in the Department of Estonian Comparative Folklore. I'm a researcher there, and I'm engaged into these projects that that are doing research on religion and folk beliefs, and my personal interest is about the contemporary belief systems and spirituality, and I'm teaching in this spring semester, for example, a course on paranormal in contemporary culture. And but I have also been responsible for master seminar and teaching more such a general courses on methodology, like fieldwork and what I see is the advantage of this program is also the designed sequence of master seminars that are there to somehow help and guide, but also in some occasions also push you through your studies, from getting to know Estonian academical tradition towards starting to see your own interest as a research material and how to collect, how to document, and how to present, and how to make it a coherent academical study. So the first year of these seminars is dedicated to find the inspiration for your interests. And so there are various presenters who somehow present their views or environments or databases or whatever, or methods to start thinking of the various possibilities within your themes of interest. And the following semesters you will be teach how to write in English, which is for most of the faculty and the students are not the mother tongue. So writing in English and also studying in English, it takes some effort for us all. So there will be a course dedicated to it. And also then on the more academical styles and tricks and tips for writing your academical papers until the final semester that is dedicated to your own research and writing of your thesis or project. So that is what we are about in this department. Just about as a department member, I can confirm that the department is small in numbers but diverse in research profiles. It is very like open and engaging company. So what else? Welcome and please explore through these links and materials that Elo-Hanna already presented in her slides. So that's on all from me.
Thank you, Kristel. And then I would pass it on to Lorraine, who is a first-year student and attended a similar webinar last year.
So hello, I'm Lorraine, and I've just finished my very first semester here in this program. So I only know like 1/4 about this program. I don't think I can provide anything more in depth than Elo-Hanna and or Kristel just told you, but I'll just tell you what I've experienced in this very first semester. So like the first thing that surprised me at the beginning of the semester is that how that a lot of us actually came from non-heritage related backgrounds. Like, so we have very diverse backgrounds. Not most of us come from, say, heritage studies or like departments or museums or what. Like, I happen to be working in a museum before I came here, but yeah, that's just a coincidence. A lot of us actually were studying something that's not like close to folklore or heritage studies or stuff, but yeah, they are doing very well here. So yeah, that's one thing that's very good. So what we learned in this semester is actually most just like what Kristel has said. It's mostly about the methodologies and the backgrounds that, like, I'd say the backbone concepts of this academic field. So we're introduced to some key concepts or like the controversies or debates around these concepts. And then most of the time we're actually in the discussion in class and also in the assignments we need to do. A lot of times we're encouraged to like reflect and explore and give examples from our own culture or just any other culture that we're familiar with, and just encouraged to like analyze it or like re-familiarized ourselves with those cultural phenomena in a more specialist perspective. So yeah, I wouldn't say that this program is teaching us that, hey, this is folklore and you need to study this and that. No, that's definitely not the experience I'm having. And just like the two ladies have mentioned, we are a lot of times encouraged to like take our time and slowly build our own research interests. So and you've also read about all the previous master thesis topics the graduates have done. So you can see like all sort of stuff here there, like subcultures, metal bands, COVID-19 conspiracy. So like I see why some of you would have like confusions regarding, hey, can I do this topic in this program? Can I do that in that program? Yeah, I can definitely see where that's coming from, but I'd say that's one of the that's the last thing you have to worry about, because yeah, we're gonna figure the faculty members are gonna figure out something for you and your interest. So yeah, it's like we have enough supports, theoretical supports, to like do our own research, but also it's a very flexible and very free program, I'd say, for if you have anything in your mind that you're interested in, or like you feel like you can do more research in that one topic. Yeah, so and the weather is, I don't know how many of you are come from like warm places like I do. I came from the subtropics, a place that doesn't snow at all, but yeah, the weather isn't that scary and the people aren't that introverted. They're quite helpful indeed. So yeah, it's quite nice. Staying in Estonia is a very peaceful little place too, like for you to do your interests and just live. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So in case you have any questions, please use the Q&A to type your question, and then we can answer them. And I would just say that yes, we do. I was glad to hear that, you know, Lorraine feels like we do support students in taking up various kinds of kind of topics. So I guess we are. It's a research or a focus program in the sense that we do. You don't have to have very clear research plans when you start, but once you start, then we start nudging you so that you would make up your mind. And one of the reasons for it is that we've seen over the years that students who do figure out what it is that they want to study get more out of the program because they are able to choose courses more consciously. Also, for example, plan for internships or plan for travel abroad sessions or a semester. So it kind of, you get more out of it this way, but then it by no means does it mean that, you know, you have to have a very clear idea when you apply. It's important to have interest and motivation, and then, you know, this is part of the answer already. Yeah. So there are the tuition fee waivers, and then also our institute, the Institute of Cultural Research, has initiated a kind of scholarship of its own, and it's possible to apply for it starting from the second semester. It's quite competitive, but then it's still something. And then, as I mentioned, then we also try to support students' research. Especially if it's in Estonia, then it's more manageable. And there are conferences happening regularly in Estonia and in the neighboring countries that our MA students participate in. So you also get to kind of practice this conference presentation and public speaking in diverse settings. So we collaborate with the Estonian National Museum in the framework of various courses, also with other museums in Tartu. Our students have interned at university at the city of Tartu. It's kind of various events. Yeah, so it's lots of opportunities, and yeah, I think that's important. Oh, there's a question, and I'm just babbling here. So there's a question. I'll read it, and then I'll try to answer it in writing as well. What kind of accommodation is available in Viljandi for students studying there? So far, we've had more students who who travel to Viljandi to attend classes or courses there. So they don't move there permanently, but it's possible to do so. For example, during your second year of studies, if you're very interested in crafts, and Viljandi certainly has more kind of infrastructure and better opportunities for it. So you could relocate to Viljandi. As in Tartu, many students rent an apartment, but there is also a dormitory in Viljandi, as far as I know. So that's an option one could look into, and then also the apartments. So I think many students first, when they come, they stay at the dormitory and then later look for an apartment to stay in. And it might take some time, but it works out. And it has also worked out for the EduMark students who come to Tartu only for one semester. And from what we've understood, the kind of apartment or accommodation market in Tartu is not as bad as in some other places. So it's usually manageable. Any other quick questions? If not, then we are approaching the end of the session. So I would really like to thank all of you who tuned in and my co-speakers. And then we very much look forward to your application and very much look forward to your questions as well, should you have any. And this recording will be made available to you and the slides as well. And you're most welcome to email me with any questions you might have. So suur aitäh! Okay, there's a question. Yeah, you should be able to, Romanus, you should be able to ask your question now. But we can't hear you in case you are talking.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Do you want to ask something?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a student from Africa, so I'm intent to study overseas. I don't know how possible is that to apply to your university.
The sound quality was a bit
What?
not that. I don't think I heard you correctly. So I wonder if you can, if you can type your question in the Q&A.
Okay.
This way others can see the answer as well. I think we're officially out of time, so okay. So there's a question about how how possible it is for a student from West Africa to study. So I would say you need to apply by submitting all the required documents. Yes, so it all starts with the application. But unfortunately, we have to wrap up now. So thank you once more for participating. And then if there are any other questions, then please email me. And the application system is called Dream Apply. And there is information about it on the university website. So, okay. So thank you all. I'm going to end this now. Bye-bye.